Hey there! Today we're taking you on a pretty incredible drive. The 13-mile dirt road to the Monastery of Christ in the desert. Just look at this place. Buckle up for a journey to one of the most remote monasteries in the U.S., nestled deep into the stunning canyons of northern New Mexico. We're doing this drive in mid-March, so very early spring before much is in bloom. We're starting just outside a little town called Abiquiú. That's Georgia O'Keeffe country. Ghost Ranch is just a few miles away from here. And these first couple of miles on Forest Road 151, which takes us to the monastery, nothing too exciting, which is why we're speeding through them. It's your classic high desert landscape, lots of sagebrush, scraggly juniper trees, and piñon pines dotting the terrain. We also did a gorgeous hike with insane views at the beginning of this road. The hike is called the Rim Vista Trail. There's a video on our channel about that hike that I'll share in this video's description. The soil out here has this gorgeous reddish tan color that really pops against the big blue New Mexico sky. Today's a little cloudy, but on blue sky days, which are most days here, the view is incredible. This whole area sits at about 6,000 feet in elevation, which explains the crisp, thin air and those dramatic temperature swings between day and night. Even in summer, it can drop 30 to 40 degrees once the sun goes down. This whole area only gets about 10 to 12 inches of rain a year, so everything you see has figured out how to tough it out in some seriously dry conditions. The road we're on right now actually follows part of the old Spanish colonial route that connected Santa Fe to the northern settlements. Spanish explorers, missionaries, traders, and soldiers traveled the same general path hundreds of years ago. Hard to imagine covered wagons bouncing along here, but they did. Forest Road 151 is the official name of this road, though most locals just call it the Monastery Road. See how the land's starting to drop? We're heading down into the Chama River Canyon. The Chama is a major tributary of the Rio Grande, flowing all the way from southern Colorado. Keep your eyes peeled for wildlife around here. Mule deer pop up all the time, and if you're lucky, you might spot coyotes, maybe even a bobcat. Bird watchers also love this canyon: golden eagles, peregrine falcons, and more. That amazing red-orange color of the rocks around here isn't a filter, that's the real deal. We're looking at sandstone that's around 200 million years old, from the Triassic and Jurassic periods, basically dinosaur times. The color comes from iron oxide, rust, that's all through these rocks. This whole area used to be ancient floodplains and river systems. You might notice these whitish layers in the rock mixed with the red. Those are limestone and gypsum deposits from when this entire region was covered by a shallow inland sea. Yep, we're driving through what used to be an ancient ocean floor. Those distinct layers you see in the canyon walls are basically pages in Earth's history book, each one representing thousands or even millions of years of deposits. Geologists absolutely love this area because the story of the Earth is just laid bare for anyone to see. over and check out the Chama River up close. The Rio Chama is a designated wild and scenic river, which is a special federal designation meant to protect free-flowing rivers that have outstanding natural, cultural, or recreational value. It's part of the National Wild and Scenic Rivers System, created by Congress in 1968. The water level changes like crazy throughout the year. Come back later during spring snowmelt and this gentle stream turns into a chocolate-colored torrent. By late summer, it often shrinks down so much you can hop across parts of it on the rocks. And this river's been carving away at these canyons for millions of years, just doing its thing, one rainstorm at a time. It's a popular spot for recreation, including rafting, kayaking, or canoeing. There are a few boat put-in and takeout ramps along this route to the monastery. The Chama is one of New Mexico's premier fishing spots too. The upper sections are known for fantastic trout fishing. Rainbow, brout, and cutthroat trout all thrive in these waters. Back on the road, and now we're getting to the good stuff. Check out how the canyon walls are rising up on both sides of us. The road practically hugs the cliff edge in some spots, with the river right below us. We're speeding this up a bit, but trust me, you want to take it slow when you're actually driving it. And about this road, what you're seeing is pretty typical. Unpaved, sometimes washboarded enough to rattle your teeth, occasional ruts and rocky patches. It's in really good shape today. Most cars can handle it when it's dry like this, but add some rain or snow, whole different story. Four-wheel drive becomes your best friend then, and it may not be passable due to the mud that sticks to everything it touches. The monks sometimes get completely cut off during big storms, real desert hermit vibes. I guess if you're seeking isolation, occasional weather-enforced seclusion comes with the territory. You'll notice that there are a few flash flood warning signs along the road as we make our way to the monastery. If it's raining, take those seriously. Notice how the plants are changing as we get deeper into the canyon? The north-facing slopes actually hold moisture longer, so they often have more vegetation than the south-facing ones that get baked by the sun all day. It's like having two different ecosystems just across the canyon from each other. The variations in moisture and sun exposure create these microhabitats that support different plant communities within just a few hundred feet of each other. There's a spot on the road where the canyon narrows dramatically and the road feels squeezed between the cliff and the drop-off to the river. It can be a bit nerve-wracking if you meet another vehicle. There's barely enough room for two cars to pass. Thankfully, traffic isn't exactly a problem out here. On a busy day, you might see a dozen other vehicles on this road. In winter, you can drive the whole way and not see another soul. I think I passed fewer than 5 cars on the Sunday in March when I drove it, and I think several of those were coming from a service at the monastery. You know, we're basically following ancient footpaths here. People have been making this journey for thousands of years. The ancestral Puebloans left their marks all over this canyon. If we had time to hike around, we could show you some amazing petroglyphs carved into these rocks. These canyons held special significance for indigenous peoples. The combination of water, shelter, and diverse plant resources made them important seasonal gathering places. Archaeologists have found evidence of human presence here dating back at least 5,000 years. Some of the rock shelters along the canyon have yielded pottery fragments, stone tools, and other artifacts that help piece together the story of human habitation in this seemingly harsh landscape. By the time the Spanish showed up in the 1500s, the Tewa Pueblo people were calling this area home. That village we passed through earlier on the way here, called Abiquiú, it was set up in the mid-1700s for Genizaros. That's what they called Native Americans who'd been separated from their tribes and were living in Spanish territory. It was a frontier settlement meant partly as a buffer zone between Spanish colonies and nomadic tribes like the Navajo and Ute, who frequently raided settlements. The name Chama itself comes from the Tiwa language, though linguists debate its exact meaning. Some say it means Red Valley, which makes perfect sense when you look around, while others connect it to words for wrestling or struggle, perhaps referencing the challenging landscape. Georgia O'Keeffe put this whole landscape on the modern map when she moved here and started painting these incredible formations. Her Ghost Ranch home isn't far from here, just a few miles. You can totally see why she was so captivated. These colors and shapes just don't seem real sometimes, especially in the low-angled morning or evening light when the reds and oranges practically glow. The crazy thing is, this road wasn't even built for cars until around the 1950s, right around when the monastery was getting started in 1964. Before that, just horse and foot traffic. When the monks first established the monastery, they had to bring in all their building materials via this rough track. Let's talk about how delicate this whole ecosystem is. Climate change is hitting places like this especially hard. The droughts are getting longer and more intense, which stresses out all the plants and animals that have adapted to live here. Wildfire risk has gone through the roof in recent decades too. Unlike forests in wetter regions, these arid landscapes can take decades or even centuries to recover from major disturbances. The soil here develops incredibly slowly, sometimes just a fraction of an inch over hundreds of years. Once it's disturbed or eroded away, it's gone for generations. Water is everything out here. Every living thing has evolved specialized strategies for finding, collecting, or conserving moisture. The juniper trees have incredibly deep root systems to tap groundwater. Cacti store water in their flesh and have waxy coatings to prevent evaporation. Even the small animals, like the lizards you might see scurrying across the road, have special adaptations for desert life, like concentrated urine to minimize water loss. Most of what we're driving through is Forest Service land, specifically the Santa Fe National Forest. Parts of this area are designated as wilderness with a capital W, which is the highest protection the government can give to public lands. No development, no motors, just leave it as it is, natural beauty. The Chama River Canyon Wilderness was established in 1978 and covers about 50,000 acres. The increased visitation to the monastery in recent decades has brought challenges, but the monks work closely with the Forest Service to minimize impact and preserve the natural character of this special place. We're almost there. We're approaching the monastery and its grounds. You'll see a welcome sign when you first enter their property. The monastery follows the century-old Benedictine approach of living in harmony with the surrounding environment. Solar panels are their electricity source. No power lines stretch all the way out here. They also have rainwater collection systems and practice water conservation that would make any environmentalist proud. Monks have been practicing sustainable living out here since long before it became trendy. They grow some of their own food in gardens that work with, rather than against, the desert conditions. You'll pass housing on the left, and then the canyon opens up just a bit, and you can see the monastery buildings tucked against that massive red rock wall. They picked this spot deliberately, hard to get to, but absolutely gorgeous. Perfect for monks looking for some serious solitude. The monastery is open to visitors, and they even have a guest house if you want to stay overnight. Lots of people come here for personal retreats, a chance to disconnect from the constant noise of modern life and experience the profound silence of this canyon. Just remember that it's primarily a place of prayer and contemplation, not a tourist attraction. The monks welcome respectful visitors who appreciate the spiritual nature of the place. Check out the details on their website if you're interested in staying here. It's pretty popular and usually booked months out. The buildings blend in so well, don't they? That's traditional adobe construction, using materials right from this landscape. Let's head into the church for a quick peek. The adobe construction makes it cool in here compared to outside. That's adobe for you, natural insulation. Everything's pretty simple, wooden benches, adobe walls, but check out that huge window behind the altar. It frames the canyon wall like a natural painting, bringing the landscape right into their prayer space. So there you have it, our little road trip through millions of years of geology, thousands of years of human history, and into one of New Mexico's most amazing hidden spots. Whether you make this trip for spiritual reasons, adventure, or just to see some incredible scenery, the road to the Monastery of Christ in the desert is definitely one of those drives that sticks with you. Something about the combination of effort it takes to get here and the stunning natural beauty makes it hit different than your average tourist stop. It reminds you that sometimes the best places aren't the easiest ones to reach.